The meeting for oh no, we're getting feedback again?
Fantastic.
We're letting Aurora TV know that there's feedback.
Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. It seems okay right now.
Okay.
Okay, the regular meeting of the Aurora City Council for Monday, February 24, 2025 is called to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Kaufman,
Here.
Councilmember Bergen.
Here.
Councilmember Coombs,
Present.
Councilmember Gardner.
Here.
Councilmember Hancock.
Here.
Councilmember Drinsky.
Here.
Councilmember Casal. Councilmember Lawson.
Here.
Councilmember Medina.
Here.
Councilmember Murillo. Mayor Pro Tem Sundberg.
Here.
There's a quorum.
Please join me in an invocation. O Lord, our God and our Father, we come to you and we ask that you look upon this particular gathering tonight to keep us safe and guide us in our decisions. Bless our city with honorable citizens, industry, sound education, and good government. Unite our community together. Even though we come from different backgrounds, we pray that there be justice and peace in our city. Give the city council and citizens the wisdom, direction, and sensitivity to the business and proceedings before us tonight. Hear us, therefore, as we commit this meeting to the help of the community. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Land acknowledgement. The City of Aurora acknowledges that we gather on the territories and ancestral homelands of the Cheyenne, Ute, Arapaho, and Lakota peoples, past and present. We also recognize the 48 contemporary tribal nations that are historically tied to the lands that make up the state of Colorado. Indigenous peoples have remained committed to the stewardship of this land over many centuries. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties that these nations have to their traditional homelands and to their vital place in the ecosystem are renewed and reaffirmed, and we are called upon to be better stewards of the land we inhabit as we continue to work to meet the needs of our entire community. Executive session update. During executive session, we discussed using eminent domain, real estate acquisitions, sales tax incentive agreement, and a development agreement. Our motion is in order for the approval of the minutes from February 10, 2025.
Mayor.
It's been moved by Councilmember Gardner, second by Councilmember Hancock, to approve the minutes of February 10, 2025. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, call for the question on the motion.
Mayor Kaufman.
Mayor votes yes.
The motion passes to adopt the February 10th, 2025 council meeting minutes.
Next motion is in order for the adoption of the agenda.
Mayor,
Councilmember Gardner.
I motion to adopt the agenda, removing item 16B. And I
Second.
also would request that staff removes that in the future, but at least for tonight.
It's been moved by Councilmember Gardner, second by Councilmember Bergen, to remove, what item is that? 16B.
If I could, real quick, the only thing for tonight, and then if we could remove it, I guess the only thing I'm looking for tonight potentially is the ability to adjust the start time of the study session on the 10th, just given that we've pushed a couple items from tonight. May need to start a little bit earlier than 5:15 to ensure that we get the meeting done before 6 o'clock.
And procedurally, Mayor, we should keep that on the agenda if we're going to have that discussion tonight about suspending the rules for that meeting if we can. And Katie, nobody signed up for that item, correct?
Correct.
And then we'll remove it after tonight.
Okay, Councilmember Bergen.
Oh, so we'll remove it after tonight. Okay, thank
Is
you.
that acceptable?
Yes.
Okay, very well. So, okay.
So just a
then that
motion
is-
to approve
that
the
is
agenda.
removed, understanding that it will
So
be.
just the full agenda now, the 16B.
Okay, okay. So it's been moved by Councilmember Gardner, second by Councilmember Bergen to approve the adoption of the agenda. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, call for the question on the adoption of the agenda.
Mayor Kaufman,
Mayor Woods, yes.
the motion passes to adopt the agenda.
Next question before us is the consent calendar on motions. Item number 9A through 9C,
Mayor,
9C1. Councilmember Gardner.
motion to approve 9C1.
Okay, through, you want the whole,
Well, there's only a 9C1,
oh, I'm sorry.
but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Gardner, second by Councilmember Bergen to approve item number 9C1. Discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the adoption of the consent calendar, item number 9C1.
Mayor Kaufman,
Mayor Woods, yes.
the motion passes to adopt the consent calendar for motions, item 9C1.
Next question before us is the adoption of the consent calendar, resolutions and ordinances, item number 10A1
11D.
through 10B.
Mayor, so moved.
second.
I'm sorry, is 10B on that? 10B separate? 10A1 to 10A3. I'm sorry.
Steve moved.
It's been moved by the Mayor Pro Tem,
Second.
seconded by Councilmember Gardner, to approve consent calendar on resolutions and ordinances, item number 10A1 to 10A3. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, call for the question on the adoption of the consent calendar on resolutions and ordinances, item number 10A1 to 10A3.
Oh, public hearing.
Councilmember Lawson? Yes. Thank you. The motion passes to adopt the consent calendar for resolutions and ordinances.
Clerk, now please read the title to item number 11A. 11A.
Item 11A is a public hearing and consideration of ordinance 2025-17, including and excluding certain property from the boundaries of Painted Prairie Business Improvement District Number 1.
This is a
Public hearing. So
Public hearing.
Yep.
public hearing is now open. A presentation by staff.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. I am Michael Kerrigan, Special Districts Administrator with the Development Services Department. Item 11A is a public hearing and consideration of an ordinance approving, including, and excluding certain property from the boundaries of the Painted Prairie Business Improvement District Number 1. The BID has previously adjusted its boundaries a few times in the past 3 years following the same procedure. The owner of the land being included and excluded from the BID is also the developer of the Painted Prairie project. The owner has modified the development plans for the site requiring a change in the BID boundaries. Certain lots and tracts intended for residential development are now in the boundaries of the BID, and since state statute does not allow residentially assessed property to be included in the BID boundaries must change. The owner has provided the statutorily required petitions for BID inclusions and exclusions, which are included in your packet. Additionally, in the packet is a map showing these updated boundaries in comparison to the old BID boundaries. And that concludes my presentation for this evening.
Is there a presentation by the applicant?
There's not.
There is not. Does anyone wish to speak on this issue?
No.
Are there questions from council to staff? Or to the applicant? Okay. Seeing none. Question before us is it, oh, I'm sorry. Hearing is now closed. And a motion is in order.
Mayor, I move to approve 11A.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Councilmember Bergen to approve 11A. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, call for the question on the adoption of 11A.
The motion passes to adopt item 11A.
Clerk, now please read the title to item number 11B.
Item 11B is public hearing and consideration of ordinance number 2025-18, including and excluding certain property from the boundaries of Painted Prairie Business Improvement District Number 2.
Public Public hearing is now open. Presentation by staff.
Good evening again. Michael Kerrigan again with the Development Services Department. Item 11B is a public hearing and consideration of an ordinance approving, including and excluding certain property from the boundaries of the Painted Prairie Business Improvement District Number 2. The BID has previously adjusted its boundaries a few times in the past 3 years, following the same procedure. The owner of the land being included and excluded from the BID is also the developer of the Painted Prairie project. The owner has modified the development plans for the site, requiring this change in BID boundaries. It's very similar to the first one. There's certain lots and tracts that are intended for residential development, which are now included in the boundaries of the BID, and because of that same state statute not allowing residentially assessed properties to be included in the BID boundaries must change. The owner has provided the statutorily required petitions for BID inclusions and exclusions, which are included in your packet, and then there's also a map of the old boundaries and then these new boundaries included in the packet, and there is not a separate presentation from the applicant.
Does anybody wish to be heard on this?
No.
Seeing none. Questions of staff?
Mayor,
Councilmember Coons.
so I just noticed that in both cases, there are multiple BIDs within, so these two items and the following two items, multiple BIDs within one particular development. Can you just give a little historical background on why that is?
Actually, I was not here when those were started. Is there a rep from the applicant here?
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Clint Waldron with the law firm of Whitebear, Ankley, Tanaka, and Waldron. We represent both business improvement districts for Painted Prairie and Windler. The reason for the organization of the both business improvement districts was to allow maximum flexibility. We weren't sure at that time, but forming the BID was really early in the planning process, really in the development process, and many times you may have a group of commercial properties that want to use the BID for one purpose and a group of properties that want to use it for another purpose. We wanted to make sure that we had the flexibility, the financing tools possible to meet whatever the future development plans for that commercial property would look like.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Further questions to staff or the applicant? Okay. Does anybody wish to be heard on this issue?
No.
Public hearing is closed and a motion is in order.
Mayor, I move to approve 11B.
It's moved by Mayor Pro Tem Sundberg, seconded by
Coombs.
Councilmember Coombs to approve item number 11B. Call for the question.
The motion passes to adopt item 11B.
Will clerk now please read the title to item number 11C?
Item 11C is public hearing consideration of ordinance 2025-19, including and excluding certain property from the boundaries of Windler Business Improvement District Number 1.
Public hearing is now open. Presentation by staff.
Item 11C is a public hearing and consideration of an ordinance approving, including and excluding certain property from the boundaries of the Windler Business Improvement District Number 1. This is the first time this BID has requested to amend its boundaries. The owner of the land being included and excluded from the BID is also the developer of the Windler project. The owner has modified the development plans for the site, requiring a change in the BID boundaries. The owner has provided the statutorily required petitions for BID inclusions and exclusions, and those are included in your packet. And then also in your packet is a map showing the updated boundaries in comparison to the old BID boundaries. And then there is not a separate presentation from the applicant.
Is there a presentation by the applicant? Seeing none, does anybody wish to be heard on this issue?
No.
Questions by members of council to staff or the applicant?
Mayor,
Yeah, Councilmember Bergen.
just on the map, the new bid area is quite small compared to the old one. Is that still going to be, that's still intended to possibly be a business improvement district?
Again, Clinton Waldron. council to the BIDs, White Bear, Inkley, Knock, Waldron. Yeah, so the Windler's a little bit different than Painted Prairie. Windler, there's less unknown commercial property. It's going to be really on the east side of 470, along 470 on the west side. So right now, we're not sure what that looks like. So we're moving it to kind of park it in a position out of the way of the residential side, which is developing much more quickly on those platting. And as soon as we know what that commercial property will look like, we'll likely be back before you to expand the BID to just capture the commercial property.
Okay,
But right now, it's kind of parked there until we know what it looks like.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions of staff of the applicant? Seeing none, public hearing is closed and a motion is in order.
Mayor, I move to approve 11C.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Sundberg, seconded by Councilmember Bergen to approve item number 11C. Discussion? Call for the question on the adoption of 11C.
The motion passes to adopt item 11C.
Would the clerk now please read the title of item number 11D?
Item 11D is public hearing consideration of ordinance 2025-20, including and excluding certain property from the boundaries of Windler Business Improvement District Number 2.
Public hearing is now open. Presentation by staff.
Item 11D, public hearing for and consideration for an ordinance approving, including, and excluding certain properties from the boundaries of the Windler Business Improvement District Number 2. Just as the Windler Business Improvement District Number 1, this is the first time that the Business Improvement District Number 2 has requested to amend its boundaries. The owner of the land being included and excluded from the BID is also the developer of the Windler project. The owner has modified their development plans for the site, requiring a change in those BID boundaries. The owner has provided the statutorily required petitions for BID inclusions and exclusions, which are included in your packet. And then also there is a map showing comparison of the new boundaries and the old boundaries in your packet. And then there is not a separate presentation from the applicant tonight.
Presentation by the applicant? There is none?
No.
Does anybody wish to be heard on this issue?
No.
Very well. Questions from council of staff or the applicant? Seeing none, public hearing is closed and a motion is in order.
Mayor, I move to approve 11D.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Sundberg, seconded by?
Your second.
Seconded by Councilmember Lawson to approve item number 11D. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, call for the question on the adoption of 11D.
The motion passes to adopt item 11D.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We got more, right? Let's see. Item number 16A, consideration to appoint members to the Civil Service Commission.
Mayor,
Councilmember Coombs.
I move to reappoint Desmond McNeil to the Civil Service Commission.
Mayor, I'd like to second that.
It's been moved and second. I'm sorry, who's that again?
Desmond McNeil.
Desmond McNeil. It's been moved by Councilmember Coombs, second.
By Drinsky.
Oh, I'm sorry. And seconded by Councilmember Drinsky to approve Desmond.
Reappoint Desmond McNeil. to the
Reappointment
Civil-
Desmond McNeil. Discussion?
Mayor.
Councilmember Coombs.
So just want to note that Mr. McNeil has been the chair of the commission, has served, I think, very well, was able to really clearly explain the purpose of the commission, the changes to the commission over time, and has a dedication to our city and just preserving the intent of that commission. So for those reasons, I nominated him.
Further discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the Coombs motion to reappoint Desmond McNeil to the Civil Service Commission.
Mayor Kaufman.
Mayor votes yes.
The motion passes to reappoint Desmond McNeil to the Civil Service Commission.
Further
Mayor.
motions?
Mayor.
I'm sorry.
Drinsky.
Mayor.
Councilmember Drinsky.
I motion to appoint Judy Lutkin to the Civil Service Commission. Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Drinsky, second by
Hancock.
Councilmember Hancock to appoint, is it Judy Lutkin? To the Civil Service Commission. Discussion? I just have one, and that is that somebody who is so close to the officers, is there a question of objectivity, who's had, I think, almost 30 years of service in the Aurora Police Department, and this is about making difficult decisions in terms of disciplinary action. It's not about promotions. And so I just have a question about that. Maybe one of the proponents could answer that. Councilmember Hancock?
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I believe in the conversations that I've had with Judy, that I think she's amply qualified to fulfill this role. I think her objectivity and her experience, too, she understands uniquely a cop's role and a firefighter's role and a service role. So I think she would be instrumental and really the best fit for this commission. I think she could be totally objective and serve her role appropriately.
Further discussion, Councilmember Jaworski?
Mayor, yeah, I just kind of wanted to point out, too, that was one of the questions during the interview process that she was asked directly, and I thought that she very thoroughly explained how she would be able to abstractly view different situations and different circumstances. We asked her that point blank.
Further discussion?
Mayor.
I'm sorry, who? Councilmember Coombs?
Yes. So I agree that, Judy Lutkin's answer was very clear in the interviews. My concern is the somewhat polarizing approach that the Aurora Police Association has sometimes taken, including when she was the leader of that association. And so I think when we look at history, that does raise a similar concern for me about objectivity.
Further discussion? Seeing none, I call for the question on the, who was it made the motion?
Jurenski.
The Jurenski motion
To appoint Judy Lutkin.
to appoint Judy Lutkin to the Civil Service Commission.
Mayor Kaufman.
Mayor votes no.
The motion passes with 8 yes votes, 2 no votes from Mayor Kaufman, Councilmember Coombs, to appoint Judy Lutkin to the Civil Service Commission.
Are there further motions?
Mayor,
Councilmember Gardner.
I move to reappoint Barbara Cleland.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Gardner, second by Councilmember Drinsky to reappoint Barbara Cleland to the Civil Service Commission. Discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the reappointment of Barbara Cleland to the Civil Service Commission.
Mayor Kaufman.
Mayor votes yes.
The motion passes to reappoint Barbara Cleland to the Civil Service Commission.
Item number 16B, discussion and possible action regarding future in-person or virtual council meetings.
Thank you, Mayor. Pete Schulte, City Attorney. I'm going to pass it off to Jason Batchelor, City Manager.
Thank you, Pete. This is, as we discussed during the adoption of the agenda, this is just a request from me to potentially suspend the rules, at least for the next meeting, to allow for study session to begin slightly before 5:15. We did push a couple items from tonight's agenda. I want to make sure we have enough time before the 6 o'clock listening session. So just need to suspend it. When we get closer to that, I'll let council know whether that's going to be a 5 o'clock or 4:45 start time, but won't go crazy if you all suspend that 5:15. I see some of you looking at me with your eyes wide open.
And what would you request, Mr. Batchelor?
I would request just to delete the 5:15.
Delete items.
Just to delete the 5:15. When we get closer, I'll be able to make that call. So if we could just remove the 5:15 hard start time, that's the suspension of the rules I'm looking for.
So the way this works is there's a motion, it'll be 2/3 for the next meeting, but we could bring a resolution at a later meeting to actually remove that hard start time from the rules if you so choose.
Okay. Very well. No action is required.
Oh, we need a motion.
Oh, we need a motion? Okay. Motion is in order.
Mayor, motion to suspend the rules on,
Study session start time.
to remove the start time for study session.
Moved by Councilmember Bergen, second by Councilmember Hancock to suspend the rules to change the start time from 5:15 to...
Just to remove.
Just to remove the time completely, and so that it would be at the discretion of the city manager.
Okay.
In terms of what will be on the agenda, and that would be for the March 10th meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on, do we have to vote on suspending the rules?
Well, yeah, so you're going to vote now, and it's a 2/3, so it'll be 7 votes. So you're calling the question, which is.
Okay.
Yep.
Call for the question on the adoption of the Bergen motion.
Mayor Kaufman,
Mayor votes yes.
Councilmember Lawson.
Yes.
The motion passes to suspend the council rules to begin the next study session before 5:15 p.m.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, reports. I will be holding a town hall meeting on this Saturday, on March 1st, at 2 o'clock at the Aurora Central Library, and would encourage all to come. Let's see. Councilmember Gardner.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to reappoint Twa Nguyen, owner of Bonham Butter, to another term on the Business Advisory Board.
Very well. Further report? Councilmember Drensky?
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to reappoint Chance Horiuchi to the Business Advisory Board, and I would also just like to highlight a few things. Not everybody gets the water bill in this city. Aurora is once again offering neighborhood improvement grants for neighborhood groups and residents where a neighborhood organization may not exist to help enhance neighborhoods and strengthening neighborhood relationships amongst residents. You can go on to auroragov.org/neighborhood grants to apply for that. If you are a part of an HOA, or you can apply individually, auroragov.org/neighborhood grants. I also wanted to highlight that we have brought back the community police academy, essentially the civilian police academy. We had it for years and years. It was a huge success. It's coming back. You can apply now for the 2025 Community Police Academy, and that is at apdcommunity@auroragov.org. apdcommunity@auroragov.org. That is all.
Mayor Pro Tem Sundberg.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to reappoint Hitesh Patel to the Business Advisory Board. 1 week ago Monday, you may remember how cold it was. We had weather in the single digits, and then overnight it got below 0. I got to see our regional navigation campus in action, opened up early for emergency sheltering. There were some people around my workplace that I was concerned about, and I worked with the outreach team to make sure they were transported over there. So I got to tour. I brought someone over there myself, but got to tour the place, see about 150 guests there on milling around and on cots, and talk to the staff, see how things were going. They had things firmly under control, and people were really appreciating the warmth that they were provided there. I attended Coffee with a Cop with a few council members recently. And then lastly, Buckley Space Force Base will be conducting a base-wide exercise. So be warned, it's nothing to be alarmed about. It's nothing outside of the movie Red Dawn. You might hear explosions and see smoke and a lot going on, maybe a lot of aircraft and activity at Buckley Space Force Base, the 24th to the 28th. Don't be alarmed.
Councilmember Medina.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to reappoint Sarah Woodson for the Business Advisory Board, and no other report.
I'm sorry. Oh, gosh, I'm in trouble. Wow. Councilmember Coombs, ouch.
I would like to reappoint Michelle Redding to the Business Advisory Board, and then I did also just want to note that Councilmember Murillo is not here because she is ill.
Okay, Councilmember Casal.
So in the past 2 weeks, I've been engaging, reaching out the community over Dawn, and then also additionally had a coffee with APD, along with Councilwoman Danielle and Steve. And then also I did visit the Community College of Aurora, and then also participate in phasing immigrant community outreach, and then also small business support, like grand opening. So That's all I have. Thank you.
Councilmember Hancock.
No report tonight, Mayor.
Councilmember Lawson.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to reappoint to the Business Advisory Board Luke Sarwal for the second term. And then my town hall is on March 18th at Central Rec Center. The topic is going to be introducing the City of Aurora, no, I'm getting wrong, introduction to the City of Aurora Municipal Court. Presiding Judge Day will be the presenter. And then my Pfizer report is congressional budget negotiations are still in play with the House to push through a budget resolution this week. The Senate is ready with the budget contingency plan if the House fails. There are renewed discussions of a year-long continuing resolution if the House and the Senate fail to produce a viable budget. The Colorado legislature continues to move and has introduced legislation on several areas that address city priorities, including construction defect litigation reform, juvenile bed space, and retail theft. The state budget is still a large factor in what bills will pass this year. There have been almost 500 bills introduced so far. And that's my report, Mayor.
Very well. Let's see, Councilmember Bergen. Oh, no, what did I do?
No, I'm good. I thought you were going to forget my name. Thank you, Mayor. Just report, attended the AEDC board meeting, also had Region 9 opioid abatement council meeting, and water policy. Also I had a meeting with my CABC appointees to just go over priorities for the year. And then I would like to also reappoint Martin Lyles to the Business Advisory Board. He is the general manager of Southlands Shopping Center. And then lastly, my town hall is on Wednesday, March 19th from 6 to 8, and it will be at Heritage Eagle Bend with the one and only Pete Schulte presenting. He promises to make it a very riveting presentation.
He will.
Well, let me, and I forgot my topics. At my town hall on March the 1st, at 2 o'clock at the Aurora Central Library, Chief Chamberlain will be talking about his, strategies for reducing crime in our city. Judge Day will be talking about the Heart Court for helping the homeless, and I'll be talking about redevelopment on the Colfax corridor, on Lowry, and bringing bioscience to the CU Anschutz Medical Campus. Seeing no further business to the Aurora City Council, meeting is adjourned.
Driving in the car. I'm driving.